These okay, Kasio, karibu tena darasani. Nadhani nimekutumia a lot of data for you now to extract them from the WinRAR. I mean, using WinRAR in the compressed files, and then you will start using them for practice. And before we start moving today, let me just show you something which is very quick, especially when it's normally used when you have duplicates and you want to remove the duplicates. So this is how you do it. Let me write some few names here. Say Dar Kigoma Tabora Dodoma, no, Tabora Dodoma. Now if I take this 4 and drag, I'll have the same names repeating, and this is what we call duplicates. And because we don't want duplicates, there are two ways which you can do. There's one which you just need to highlight. Okay, let me just copy this one and put them somewhere here so that we can exercise. So this is one which we are going to use for exercises. So if you want to remove the duplicates, just highlight and then go to data. There's this function here under data tools. It's called remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. So if you click this one, it will ask you which column are you talking about. Then if you look at it, it's column J, and then select all, and then just say okay. The duplicates have been removed. That's one way. The other way is just to use a formula equals to unique. There's a formula called unique. You want unique, so it's an array. For us, this is the array. Close, enter. You just get all those regions alone. So it's either you use the function which is here, or you use a formula called unique. So this is what I just wanted to show you for today. I mean, for now, it's going to help us as we go along. Once you are comfortable with it, then just let me know, and then we proceed. So when we proceed, let's use, say, let's use, this is just too many. Use this data. There's a file which I've sent to you. It's compressed by WinRAR, and I told you you have to download WinRAR in order to extract these files. So for me, these are the files. Okay, how do we duplicate? Right, if for instance here I've written how many, I've written the names, 4 of them, and then highlight all of them and then drag to the end. Then is when you have, actually that's how you duplicate them. To remove the duplicate, go to data, remove duplicates, and then say okay. All of them have been removed. Okay, this might happen anywhere where you're working, and then you find that you've got a list of duplicate items and you don't need the duplicates. So this is how you do. I just created myself this question, and then I solved it. Under real life situations, there will be situations where you'll have duplicates, and this is how you remove the duplicates. Okay, so now I sent you the files. I think you received the files with data. I believe you received the files. If you did not receive them, let me know. So here you will see that there is sales for 2014. This is the ship date. This is the ID, salesperson. Sorry, let me pick this phone quickly. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Did you receive the files? I just need to know. Okay, if you received the files, can you extract the contents of the files? I'm interested in the one which is called data. In that data, there are like 4 sheets. Yes, there are 4 sheets. Sales for 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. I would like to open all of them. I would like you to open all of them. You just highlight, right click, open. All of them will be opened. Yeah, all of them are opened. Have you managed to extract them? If you've managed to extract them, let me know. Okay. We are using the one which has got is named data. Once you have extracted this, open all of them for 2014, 2015, 2016 and 2017. Open all of them. There's this 2014, there's 2015, which is this one here. There is 2016, and there is 2017. So there are 4 actually. Hello. Okay. Okay, excuse me for like 2 minutes. I'll be back. There's something I need to attend to quickly outside. Just 1 minute. Okay, I'm back now. So let's proceed. Okay. Okay, so what you need to do first is to move all these files into one sheet. And the easiest way we do, for instance, I want the other files, this is 2014, so I want 2015 to be here, 2016 to be here, and 2017 to be here. How am I going to do it? Just look carefully. I'm going to the file for 2015. So 2015, where is it? This is 2015. So 2015, I'm going to click here on this tab here, and then right click. I'll get this menu. The menu will appear. In my menu, the first thing I see is the word insert, and then delete, and then rename, and then move or copy. So I'm going to move or copy. I'm clicking move or copy. So there is to book and before sheet. Today I'm not going to deal with before sheet. I'm first going to book. In this window here, if I click on this side here, I will see all the files, all the sheets. I mean 2017, 2016, 2015, and 2014. So I'm clicking on 2014, and then I'm clicking move to end. And then because I want to leave the other one, I'm just creating a copy. So I'm checking create a copy here. And then I'm saying okay. This moves next to 2014, like you have seen. Then I'm doing the same for 2016. I'm going to 2016. This is 2016 sheet. I'm going to the tab where it's written cells 2016. I'm putting my cursor there. Right click. Straight away to move or copy. Click there. Go to book window. Select cells 2014. And then click move to end. Check create a copy, and then say okay. 2016 is there next to 2015. The last one is 2017. I'm doing the same. 2017. Click on the sheet for 2017. Go to the tab where it's written cells underscore 2017. Right click. Go to move or copy. Click there. Go to this window which is written cells 2017 CVC. Go to the drop down menu. Click on the cells 2014. Click move to end. Check create a copy. Say okay. So all of them are in one sheet. Now I'm just going to close the other ones. So 2015, I'm just closing it. I don't want to save anything on the 2015. 2016 again, I'm just closing it. I don't want to save it. 2017. This 2017, I'm also closing it. I don't want to save. So I've got one sheet which has got 4 tabs: 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. Now, if I open, for instance, 2014, okay, I've got all the numbers clearly, I can see them. 2015, again, I've got all the numbers, I can see them clearly. 2016, there's this D column for me, I can't see it. It is written, they are squeezed. So the easiest way to clear and see all the columns properly, just go to this corner here on your top left side, click there. The whole sheet is highlighted. Put your cursor between column A and B, and once you get this cross which has got arrows on the sides, just double click. Everything is cleared. I'll do the same for this one here. I don't want problems. It's done. I've done. So all of them now, I can see the numbers properly. Since I can see the numbers properly, now I want to do my report. Sometimes you'd like to do a report, but the numbers, you don't want to put everything in one report. Let's say I've got two dates in this one here. I've got the order date and the shipping date. I've got the order date and the shipping date. I've got the salesperson name, the customer ID, the order ID. I've got the priority. I've got the SKU number. I've got the order quantity, the unit sale price, the discount, the shipping amount, the ship mode, the product container. So what I would say, probably in the other what would I say? If I want, for instance, to get a report, just one report in one sheet, just in one sheet, I want to have the information for 2020, from 2015, 2016, and 2017. I want certain information. For instance, I just want to know if in 2015, what was the order quantity, what was the unit sale, discount, and the amount of shipping. I just want this information to be pulled out and put in these columns from 2015. Actually, in 2014, I want this information to be pulled and put in the same sheet in 2014. The only way that I can use is using a function called lookup. Lookup, we've got functions, several. We've got I would say quickly 6 or 7 of them, which are lookup functions. Lookup functions are used to pull information from one sheet to the other, provided they have unique identifiers or unique codes. In this case, the unique code is the order ID, but the order ID in 2015, in 2014 might not be the same as the order ID in 2015. So 2014 is different. So what's going to be a unique number for 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017? There's this customer ID, there's the salesperson SKU number. For me, the first thing that I can quickly identify here as the ID is when we want to find out if we had the same customers in 2014 and 2015. If we had the same customers, because these are the orders, now we just want to, we're curious, we need to know, are we maintaining our customers? So the easiest way to do would be to create another sheet and copy the customer IDs from 2014. Copy them, enter, put them there. Remember, we have learned how to remove duplicates. Our purpose here is just to find out if we have the same customers in 2015 as well. So first of all, how many customers do we have in 2014? So these are the customers in 2014. So remove the duplicates. Go to data. I have highlighted already. Remove duplicates. Okay. All the duplicates have been removed. So these numbers don't repeat. They're unique. So we've got like 635. Or 634 customers, and these are their unique IDs. Okay. If I go to 2014 and start looking for the name of customers, actually I don't have any name for these customers. I only have their IDs. Now, in order to find if the same customers are still working with us in 2015, the simplest way to use will be VLOOKUP. We'll have to use a formula called VLOOKUP. Like I said previously, there are like 6 or 7 lookups functions. The first one, which is commonly used, is VLOOKUP. The second one is HLOOKUP. VLOOK means vertical lookup. The other one is HLOOKUP, which means horizontal lookup. And then we've got match, and then index, and then offset. We also have XLOOKUP, which is a lookup function coming to replace VLOOKUP, because VLOOKUP has got some limitations, and we'll look at them and then we'll see them. Okay, let's start with VLOOKUP. All the formulas start with equal sign, so equal sign VLOOK. Now, VLOOKUP, that's the VLOOKUP function. It says looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table and then returns a value in the same row from a column you specify by By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. Well, in this case, in our case now, what I'm saying, we are not going to do the sorting. What we are going to do is naming the table. We have to name the tables. Yesterday we learned how to name the columns, the cells, or the arrays, and now we're going to name a table. Now, when you do the naming, you have to remember that VLOOKUP looks for a value in the leftmost column of a table. So our names should make sure that the customer ID is the leftmost column of that table. Let me repeat. It's very, very important that the column that we are going to refer should be the leftmost column. And in this case, our leftmost column is going to be the customer ID, because we are going to look up for the customer ID from the table which is in 2015. So that being the case, let's just leave it first. So we have to look for customer ID in the 2015 table. Now, the first one, the leftmost corner, if you look at what is being presented here, is the order ID. The second one is the customer ID. So when you are doing your naming, don't start highlighting from here. Don't do that. Start from here and then highlight the whole sheet from here. So if you name from here, it means that customer ID is the leftmost column. I think that is understood. Okay, so that being the case, let me do this and then click here and give it a name. So in my case, I name it as Sales 2015. Enter. When you do the naming here, don't leave any space. If you want to put a space, put underscore. Don't leave any space. If you put space, it won't accept. So Sales 2015. After naming this, Sales 2015, and pressing enter, then this area is known as Sales 2015. If I go back and come here and click Sales 2015, this whole area is going to be highlighted. So this is what I wanted. So now I'm going back to where I want to write my VLOOKUP. Okay, the heading now is going to be customer ID, Control C, copy it here. But I'm just going to add customer ID 2015. So I'm going to bring the customer IDs. Now, if I look at this one here again, I'm saying this is the leftmost column. In fact, this is number 1 column. This is number 2 column, number 3 column, and so on and so forth. So I'm putting now my formula equals to VLOOKUP, double click it as usual. It is asking you for a lookup value. Since we've said that the unique reference on the other side is the customer ID, then we're going to use this customer ID here. Lookup value is the customer ID, so you click here, comma, The table array. The table array that they are asking here is the one that we have given it a name. We gave it sales 2015. So you have to start typing sales. Once you type sales, you find that the name appears here. So just double click. That's the name of the array. Then put a comma. It is now asking you for the column index, call index number, which means where is that customer ID, or which column do you want to bring here? So for me, I want to bring the customer ID column. So I'm saying number 1, comma. Then there is true or false. True means approximate match. False means exact match. For me, I want exact match. I don't want approximate. So I want exact. I'm clicking exact. And then I close the bracket. I say enter. There it comes. Now it's just a question of me double clicking here, and then I've got all the names except where it's saying NA. NA means this customer is not there in 2015, or we've not done business with them in 2015. Please give it a try, and if there's any question, let me know. Okay, fantastic. So now I'm not going to show you how to do it for 2016 and 2017. Just do it now. So 2016, 2017. If I drag, the numbers increase. And then I'm going to 2016 as usual, highlighting from here to here. Call it cells 2016, enter. I'm also going to do here now, from here to here, cells 2017, enter. This is done. I'm going now to the report. The same formula. Equals to VLOOKUP. What is looking up? It's looking up for this one, comma. Table array is cells 2016, which is this one here, comma. I want to bring the first column, comma, exact match. Enter. I'm also going to do the same for 2017, equals to VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this one, comma. Table array is cells 2017, comma. I want the first column, comma. I want exact match. And then enter. So I'm just highlighting the both of them and then double click. So now I know who is working with us, who was working with us in 2017, who was working with us in 2017, and so on and so forth. And then if I'm do equals to counter, okay, now so quickly, if you look at this one here, it will tell you which customers are working with us, which ones have not worked with us in specific years. I mean, it seems, for instance, CO15, he didn't transact with us in 2015, but he transacted with us in 2016. He came back in 2017. The same applies to these two. There's no one who has completely disappeared from our business. Yeah. Okay. So if you have managed to do VLOOKUP, that's how we do VLOOKUP. That's the formula for VLOOK, and that's how VLOOK works. Any question? I just need questions, just to make sure that you have grasped the point. The most important thing to note here is that your references are on your left side, one, but two, they are arranged in a column. Okay. So what is the question? Okay, we put number 1 index because, like I said, let me do this here. This is the column for the area for sales 2015 has got, I don't know how many columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They've got like 12 columns. So if they've got 12 columns, this column here, if we want to bring this column here, this is column number 1. This is column number 2. And that's why in our VLOOK, because we want to bring this customer ID there, we, in the indexed, in where we are supposed to write the index, we write 1 here. If we wanted, for instance, to say the order quantity, what was the order quantity in 2015, and the unit price and the discount, for instance. So if just the order quantity, we just want to know the quantities that each customer has ordered in the specific year. What we'll have to do, we'll have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So order quantity is in column 6. So let's go into our report. Just change this one, instead of 1 here, put 6. You'll get the numbers. You'll see now, you're only getting numbers. Here as well, if you put 6, which means these are the order quantities. And therefore, here you should write order quantity, not order ID, not customer ID. Right? Order quantity. And this now is going to be order quantity. And also this one is going to be order quantity. So this one also, you change this one, the index, to number 6, which means you have to bring the column number 6, and then you do this. So these are the orders, except for those ones which we didn't trade with them, we didn't transact with them in the respective years. You'll just get the NA, which means there's nothing there. Any other question? Again, I think this is understood, eh? Yes. Okay, so now what I was trying to explain that it's called the vertical lookup because the IDs or the unique values are arranged in a column, and the numbers or the figures or the information which is being picked vertically. So the reference is vertically. But you can do another way around. You can do H lookup. You can do H lookup. How do you do H lookup? Well, let me show you. H means horizontal. So I've put another sheet which is empty. I'm just copying this because horizontal is picking from horizontally. So it is picking from the top. So copy these headings, put them here. So now our reference, our unique reference is going to be these headings, and our unique reference is going to be these headings. But the most important thing to remember is it will ask you which row now. It's not going to ask you which column. It's going to ask you which row number. Row number, you will have to count from the top. So this one, if you go to this one, for instance, in sales 2015, this one here is going to be called row number 1. This is row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, and so forth until the end. The only problem is now you can't in both cases, since the index numbers are being fixed, it's normally very difficult when you are dealing with a lot of figures like these ones. But let's give it a try for training purposes. So equal sign H lookup means horizontal lookups. It says looks for a value in the top row of a table or array of values and returns the value in the same column from a row you specify. From a row you specify. So click lookup value. I'm saying look for customer ID, comma. The table array is the same, sales 2015, comma. Row index now, we are talking about rows. So the first row has got headings, so the second row, you'll find the first customer ID. So 2, comma, exact match. It's the same. Enter. So the first one in this one from 2015 is C729. Let's go 2015 and see. Yes, it's this one, C729. So if you want to drag, this is going to be dynamic. It's going to be moving A1, so it's going to be B1. So you'll get everything. The only thing that is going to remain fixed is the number 2. So all the information for this row, you will get them. There you go. So the salesperson is Bob. The order date is this one. Priority, SKU number, order quantity, everything. You got it. So if you go to the second column now, if you go here, it will be row number 3, not number 2 again. So it will be the same, equals to H lookup. You look up for this value, comma. The table array is the same, which is sales 2015. Now the row index is no longer 2, is now 3, comma, exact match, and then close, enter. If you look, it's the same. So it's the same order date, order priority, SKU has changed, quantity has changed. Yeah. So if you look at the quantity, 11, 2015, quantity 11. Yes, this one here. So that's how you do. You can do for the rest of the column. Give it a try. Any question, let me know. Okay, ask the question. No, if you look at sales for 2015, you'll find that the customer ID 123 is the same person. It's the same customer dealing with the same salesperson on the same day. The priority is the same, except the SKU is different, and the order quantities are different, and the delivery means is different. So, and this guy ordered a small box, medium box, and jumbo drum. That's the product container. So it seems that it's the same person who has ordered in different, in different product containers. And if the, yeah, that's how I feel. So for instance, if you want to pick, for instance, what should I say? If you want to pick John, for instance, salesperson John and customer ID C260, what you need to do is first count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's 5, then go to your report, write a VLOOK, a HLOOK equals to HLOOKUP. Lookup value, yes, it's the same ID. Table, yes, is sales 2015. Comma, but the raw index, because I want another person now, I'm saying it's number 5. It's not even 3 or 2. Number 5. And then exact match. In this case, you'll find it's different. So the whole row that relates to this guy, to this customer, is now being picked up. This is the way it works. Unless I've not understood the question. But if that's, if you're picking a row where the customer ID is C260, then you should expect that the person who has dealt with him is John. And the date is that one. And that's the SKU number. And the quantity is 6. The unit sale price is 204.1. And so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, Okay, so that's how HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP work, and that's how they differ. The other one is picking from horizontally. The other one, HLOOKUP is picking its reference horizontally, whereas VLOOKUP is picking reference vertically. Okay, the dates, you just have to go to data, home. It's not a general, just choose short date probably, something like that. Click home, not general, date, short date, yeah, something like this. So those are the dates. Any other question or something that is not yet understood? Okay, there is another way which we can use these functions. I mean, HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. You can create something like a form. For instance, let me show you what you can do. You can do something like this. If you copy these numbers, copy, just create another sheet, put them here. No, sorry, undo, paste is special. This one is transpose. I transpose them. I've transposed them here. Now, customer ID or salesperson, what should I use? Let me find which one is really unique, it doesn't repeat. Let me find out from this one here. Let me see if SKU number is repeating. If I want to find, I just need to highlight the duplicate. How do I highlight the duplicate? I go to home, go to conditional formatting. After I have highlighted the column, the whole column, and then go to conditional formatting, click, and then go to highlight cell rules. I don't want greater than, less than, no, between, equal, no, text that contain, no, duplicate values here. Just click. So there are duplicate values in SKU, because 902 here or 947 here is duplicated somewhere else down there. So it means this one is of no use again. Let me cancel this one. So SKU is duplicated, salesperson duplicated, customer ID duplicated, order ID is also duplicated. Okay, let me try something here, because the orders, if you look at these ones, for instance, these orders have repeated themselves. So because they've repeated, what do I do? The easiest way. the easiest way to do this is not on this one here, but probably okay, we can give it a try. Let's give it a try. Let's use the customer ID. Let's find the customer ID, and we choose the customer ID, and we get the rest of the information. Now remember, we have learned how to use unique to summarize or to get the unique numbers. We've also learned how to use data validation. So in this case, let's use customer ID as data validation. Okay, and in order to be successful in that, let's just highlight this column alone, or somewhere here where we've we summarized it. We removed the duplicates. Highlight here where we removed the duplicates, and then highlight from here. Don't put customer ID in. We should not include the heading. Just include these numbers and highlight all of them to the end. Mind you, these are unique, they don't repeat. Give it a name. Because they are customer ID, I give them a name, customer ID. That's the name. Enter. I've given them a name, customer ID. Now, here is where I want to put a data validation function reading from those customer IDs. So, data validation, you put your cursor here, you go to data validation, not any value, list, source, remember, FN, F3, O, for me, O equal sign, customer ID, and then say okay. I've got my data validation here, and these are the numbers, different numbers. I can choose. Now, salesperson, order date, I want all of them to depend on this customer ID and bring me the information here as I choose the customer ID. Now, which one should I use? Should I use, because I'm going to use customer ID, I'm going to use VLOOKUP. Now VLOOKUP equals to VLOOKUP. Before I continue, I should now remember, if I use VLOOKUP, then I have to put the numbers. You remember the numbers, the column numbers. So customer ID is column number 1, salesperson is column number 2. Column number 3 is order date. If I go here, actually here, 2015, column number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to do the same in this case here. So this is going, salesperson is going to be column number 2 equals to VLOOKUP. Lookup value now is this one here, comma, Table array as usual, cells 20, let's use just cells 2015, comma, column index, I've said this is number 2, and then exact match. Enter. As I drag down, because I want to drag, I want this one not to be moving. So the reference here, B2, I don't want it to be moving. I want it to be fixed. If I want it to be fixed, I have to use absolute reference. So FN F4. Those dollar signs will appear. Enter. Now I can drag. If I drag to the end, it's only the same name will appear. But remember, this is number 3. So it's appearing because its reference here is number 2. So I'm changing this to 3. This one I'm changing to 4. This I'm changing to 5. This to 6. This to 7. This is to 8. This is to 9. This is to 10. This is to 11. And the last one is 12. Why this one is saying no? There was a comma here. Yeah. So now the issue here is very simple. These are dates, so I'm changing them to dates by going to home. Here, instead of general, I'm looking for date, a short date, this one, and the same here. Home. Choose a short date. Done. After I've done this, you'll see what is happening. If I go here and change, everything here changes. It's dynamic. If I go here and choose this one, everything changes here. Look at the SKU, the regular, everything is changing. Because everything is referring to this cell here, the customer ID. Yeah. So this is one of the users. The salesperson is Richard. Now, let me find out. The salesperson, what is going on? That guy, okay, we didn't have any business. Is it the same Richard every time? How? Bob, yeah. So this shows that everything is dynamic, it changes. Give it a try. Try it, please. equals to unique. If there's any question, please let me know. Just ask. If this is understood, then it's okay. We can move to the other functions. Okay. So this is they're using when you go to, for instance, a hospital. They ask you for a NHIF card, and then they type that number here. Once they type the number, or they look at the number and then they look at the number and then they choose, and then all your information is there. The same applies if you go nowadays to the police, for instance. They ask you for the national ID. If you give them the national ID, they look at your number and then they look for it in the system. Once they get the unique number that you have given to them, then they can just look for that number and then get all your information, where you are living, your age, I mean a lot of things, a lot of information. It's the same principle. It's VLOOK or HLOOK or combined. Any question? Okay, if it's done properly, then that's good. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, now that's good. Let's now move to match. There's that formula which is called match. Let's use it where? Somewhere. No, let's use here 2015 equals to match. This one, the formula match, returns the relative position of an item in an array that matches a specified value in a specified order. Okay, so if I click here match, it will ask me for a lookup value. I have to identify what is that value I want to look up. For instance, let me say I want to look for something here. Say Richard here. I want to look for Richard. I just want to know the position of Richard. If you look at this one here, is how many columns? Third columns, 7th row. So let's go and use match equals to match. Okay, now if I want to use to look for Richard, I have to write somewhere here, Richard. What is this? Okay, equals to match. Lookup value is this Richard here, comma, lookup array. This one here. I know there are lots of Richards there, comma, I want exact. Enter. It'll tell me number 7. So if you count from here, the first time that Richard appears is number 7. So it will pick the first one. It won't pick the second one, which is this one. No, it just show me the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's where you get Richard. You find Richard. So that's how, and therefore it's normally used when these are unique. If it's not unique, the column, then you just get the first, when it appears the first time. So you see now Richard is appearing here the first time. If I change and write John, if you look into the same column, you'll see that John is in the 3rd place. If I look for who else, it seems there are only 3. Bob, John, and Richard. If I change and write my name somewhere here, say Beno, and write here Beno, it says number 34 here, 34. If you count from the top, it should be 34. Yes, look here, 34. So that's the function of match. It tells you the position, the relative position of that item you are looking in that array. So you have to specify the array. That's the function of match. We can use match in the formulas. We can combine match and VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP depending on what we want to achieve. Let me give you a very good example here. No, in this case we can't use because they are not unique. Everything here is not unique. It will reach a point where we will create a table which has got unique identifiers or unique IDs, and then we can see how well we can combine the VLOOK and the HLOOK with match. And then we get a dynamic information, the dynamic report. It's a dynamic report. Another formula is index equals to index. Index returns a value or reference of the cell at the intersection of a particular row and column in a given range. At the intersection, mind you. So you must have 2 variables there. Let me give you an example. Index array, it's asking first for the array. Now, let's say the array is the cells 2015, comma, it's asking you for a row number. Now, let's say the row number is because the first row number here, this is the first one, The second one is where you get the salesperson's names. So me, I'm saying the row number. No, these are the columns number, sorry. The row numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me say I want row number 4. So I'm writing 4 there. It's asking me for the column number. The column I'm saying 2. 2 is where I've got the salesperson's names. Enter. It's Bob. Where? 2015. This is 2014. Let's go to 2015. 1, 2, 1 is this one. 2, 3, 4 is this one. So if I write, if let's count 1, okay, let's put the same formula here so that we can see here and we can play with it. Equals to index. The array is cells 2015, comma, row number, I'm saying number 11, column number, I'm saying number 2, area number, I don't need that one. I'm closing, enter. It's Richard, number 11, so 1 is here, 11 is here. Number 2 from here is this one here, so it's Richard. We can also combine VLOOK, index, match to get whatever we want from wherever. Basically, this is how index, match are working. Okay, let's practice a bit. Let's practice more. Let me find out. This sales data is not good. Let me look at the HR data. Okay, HR data is dealing with the employees. And in this case, I've got the unique identifier here. It's not the date, but it's the ID. This is for a year, 2015. Let me see. Let me check first if this one is really unique. Conditional, highlight, duplicate. Yes, no duplicates. No duplicates at all. No duplicates. So that being the case, please open another file which I've sent you. It's in WinRAR as well. It's called HR. And then in the HR, open the 2015-01 sheet. And then we look how we are going to play with it. Just let me know when you have finished opening it. Let's just open one. Okay, once you have done, as usual, since, yes, 2015-01. Once this is opened, what you need to do is, first of all, there's this date here. And what I was saying is, we have a big problem because the unique identifier is the second column. So if we want to name, we have to start from here, leaving the date on its side. Now if you look at the date, it seems is only one date. It's in January 2015. So this is like the information of the employees on the 1st of January 2015. These are the employee IDs, and then you have got the gender, you have got the age, the ethnic group. I mean, in our case, could be the tribes. You've got the sessions, how they work. Is it part-time or full-time? Okay. And then term date, these ones is new hire. And then we've got the regions where they originate. It's either north, northwest, west, midwest, central, and so on and so forth. The hire date is this one here. The pay type, some of them are getting salaries, others are being paid hourly. The age group, the tenure days, tenure months, and whether they are bad hires or not. So this is the information that you have. You just want to prepare something which will be giving you this information, but not all of it. You just need a few things here. You just need to know, for instance, from the employee ID, you just need to know the gender, the age. You don't need to know the ethnic group, but you just need to know the BU region where this guy is coming from, and whether is and the pay type. Is it hourly or salary? That's the information that you want. So what you need to do is very simple. Copy these ones, open a new sheet, right click, transpose. We are saying you don't need ethnic group, delete that one. You don't need the date, it's only one date. Term date, you don't need it. All of these you don't need. You just need where this guy is coming from. Hire date, you don't need it. Pay type, yes. Tenure months, no, you don't need the rest. Okay, so now you can arrange this here properly. You can remove these, it's not a problem. You can put something like this. Now the employee ID here, you can go here, highlight this column here, or from here to the end, give it a name, employee ID, employee ID, that's the name, and then highlight from here, because this is the unique identifier, highlight, okay, to the end, give it a name, employees, employees list, for instance. Enter. That's the name. Then you go here, use validation, data, validation, not value, list, source, FN or F3 for me, employee ID. Okay, now here I can choose the IDs. Then I'm using VLOOK equals to VLOOKUP VLOOKUP value is this one here, comma. The table array is the employees list. Employees list, this one here. Now, the gender, I think, is number 2, if I'm not mistaken. Exact match, I want exactly. Enter. Gender is M, yes. Now, my issue here is I want to drag. If I drag, I have to change. I mean, mind you, this is just a small list of, requirements. Sometimes there are lots of requirements, and you don't have time for that. So what are you supposed to do? You have to find a way. You have to use match here. Now, if you use match, then you have to have an array of these names here. Employee ID, gender, age, FP, so on and so forth. But if you go here, you'll see that employee ID is here, gender is here, and so on and so forth. So for me, I said gender is number 2. So the array, I will start from here. I'll highlight these names up to the end. After highlighting them, I name them. Just name them, give them a name. What is the name? Let me call them headings. Headings. Yeah, enter. It's done. So this now is a specific array of these headings. And I'm going to use this array now in March. So if I go here, this is number 2. Instead of putting number 2 here, I'm mixing it. I'm combining the formulas now. The column index, I'm going to use match. I'm clicking it. It's asking me for a lookup value. Now, my lookup value is this one now, gender, comma. Lookup array is headings, remember, headings, because there is where all these names are listed. Comma is asking me whether I want less than, exact, or greater than. I want exact. Then I close the bracket. So the column index is represented by this formula here. Then I put a comma as usual. Is asking me for whether it's false or exact. Me, I want false, which is exact, and that's it. So it's done. From there, I just need to drag to the end. It's not picking up because I've not fixed this one here. This should be fixed to this reference number here. So FN F4, done. Drag, done. This one is NA because there's nothing here, delete it. This one NA, nothing there, yeah, done. So if I change the numbers here, the ID, I'm getting what I'm supposed to get. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how you combine match and VLOOKUP. Please give it a try again, combining the formulas. Okay. Any challenge you have encountered so far? Any question? Okay. Okay. So now let's start slowly to go a bit more on now data analysis. We'll be picking up the formulas as we go along, but at the same time, let's continue working and slowly go into data analysis. Okay, let's start by looking at this list of employees that we have. If we look at this list of employees, there's lots of information which, if not managed properly, will not make any sense. I mean, it will be a hell of a job to analyze this information the way it is. So what we need to do is summarize this information so that we can have a meaningful data. Now, how are we going to summarize? Well, let's start slowly. First of all, this is the information. This information, the way it is, we are saying we need to put it in a tabular format, in a table. The table that is being understood by Excel. The way it is now is just a list of things here. It's not a table. So how do we make it a table? Well, put your cursor anywhere in this list. Make sure that every column has got a heading. So in this case, we have headings, even though we don't have any data, but we have headings. That's fine. That's okay. So put your cursor anywhere. I mean, I'm putting mine here. I'm going to click home. No, insert. If you have clicked insert, you will see there is pivot table, there is recommended pivot tables, there is table. So our interest is this one here, table. Or if you want to use shortcut, do Control T. It will highlight the whole table. If you do Control T, it will highlight the whole table. Actually, to the end of it. Yes, to the end. Everything is highlighted. And in this menu here, it's telling you my table has headers. Yes, it has. And that's why it has checked there. Yes, it has these ones. These are headings. So those are the headers. Then say okay. This thing here changes. Now, this is what is called a table. Before it was a table, there was no this tab here called table design. This table design here, if you click, it has got all the functions that are related to this table. Let me take you quickly to the name here, the properties. You'll see there's table name here. Automatically it has given it its name, table 1. You can change this name here. Employees, emp list. That's fine. Enter. Now this is the table. I'll click somewhere there. So if I go here, I find emp list. This is the table, emp list. A normal table, if you scroll down, the headings will disappear. But this one, these headings will remain there, will not disappear. If I scroll down, you'll see that the names are here now. All the names. It doesn't matter how long I go down, the headings are there. The moment I click here, the headings disappear. So if I want to see the names, the headings, I have to click inside the table. So this is one of the characteristics of this table. The second characteristic that you can easily see, once you click this menu here, all these functions were not there. You can remove the duplicates, you can convert to range, you can summarize with the pivot, you can insert the slicers, you can export. There's these table styles here. There are also cosmetics here. This is what I call cosmetics. If you click there, you see a lot of, if you click here, this changes. You can change to this color, you can change to this color, any color that you want. You can put this one here. It depends. It depends on your designing mind now. Okay, sorry. Hello? Okay. Okay, so this is how you design your table. So it depends on which colors you prefer, which design you want. You can make your table that design. You can do any of these ones. Let me choose this one here. So that's how you do. You can count. Now you don't know how many are there. If you go down here, since the employee IDs are unique, just go down there, up to here, go to the table design, go to total row here. This one is not checked. So just check this one. If you check this one, up there you have got the filter buttons, these filter buttons. If you don't want to use them, just remove them. How are you going to remove them? Just go here. You see this filter button here. Just uncheck it. The filter buttons must be removed. I don't know, yeah. By doing this, all of them are going, You don't have them anymore. So here, I said you checked, you got this total here. Now, let's go here, for instance. Say, I want to know how many employees are there. Just click there. You see all these functions? Average, count number, max, minimum, sum, standard deviation, variance. Now for our case, just say count. So there are 228, and you can easily see, because this last number here is 229, but at the top there's headings. So remove that number 1, which is because it's headings. So you start with number 2. So if you start from number 2 to the last one is 228. So we've got like 28 people there. Yeah. If we had put like salaries, we would have said what is the total amount. We would have summed the salaries. Now since there are not salaries there, we don't sum. The tenure days, the total days so far for all of them, you just sum. You get is how many days. So you can do anything here. So that's, if you want now, for instance, to filter how many females are there, what you need to do is very simple. Just go up there, table design, check the filter button, go to the gender column, filter, for instance, click here, and then just filter females, and check the males, and then boom, all these are females, and the total number you can just get here, just count. There are 113. Simple. How many males are there? Just go up there and check females, check males, say okay, done, and the total is 115. If you add 113 to 115 is how much? 229. 228, sorry. 228. Okay. You want to know how many males are working on full time. Just go there and check part time, full time. This is full time. Go there, count. It's 66. It's simple. 66. How many males who are working on full time are coming from West? Go there and check all of them. Just choose West. Okay. There are only 10. So that's how you start now making sense of the data you have, and so on and so forth. Okay. Select all of them. Not from West. Okay, if we select all of them, how many are from West? 23. From West region. Okay. This is it. So, this is how you work with a table. You can do what we call slicers. This is new. I'm not sure if the Americans have done it already, but for us from Japan, we have slicers here. Slicer is also used to summarize. For instance, click slicer. Let me just pull the slicer for regions, BU regions. Where is BU regions? BU regions here. Okay, I'm getting something like this. Is a slicer. So how am I going to be using a slicer? Slicer is also being used to filter this information here. So if I want to see who are coming from central region, for instance, I just go there and click central. This is all central. If I want central and north, so I click central, I hold the control button down, and then I click west. If I leave, I get central and west only. If I don't want both of them, I just click one, I remain with west. If I want north, just click north. All this is coming from north. If south, this is coming from south. If midwest, yes. If I want to have a filter, for instance, of the gender as well. So what I'm going to do is very simple. Again, just click there, go to table design, another slicer. Gender, where is gender? This one here, gender. Click gender. Say okay. This one is now gender. Just drag this one. You can put it somewhere here, or you can put here, depending on where you want to put. Here, it's okay. Yeah. So you can choose. This is Midwest, but I want to see Midwest males. Ding. That's males from Midwest. East, males. East, females. Ding. This is lots of females from East. Well, if both of them, I just click here, clear filter. Tap, I clear filter. Both genders are there. If I want all the country, I just uncheck here. The whole country is there. So this is the work of filters. I want to know who are working part-time. Another filter. Click somewhere here. Slicer, FP. FP is here. Check FP. Okay. Just drag this one. For instance, I'm putting it below this one here. Yeah, nice. It looks nice. So I want Midwest. I want full-time, but females. Only 8. Full-time, females, only 8 from Midwest. From North, well, 11. From South, well, 7. From West, 9. Central, 13. East, well, 37. You see how easy, how you can play with data. This now you can analyze. If you're doing presentation, it's just that easy. Males, this is males. From Central, this is full-time. Part-time males, 9 from Central. Okay. From North, yes, 17. From South, only 1 is doing part-time. So, yeah. If I want all of them, this is how I do. If I want females, this is how I do. So part-time females, only 21. Full-time females, lots of them. 92. Yeah. Any question so far? It's nice. Yeah, it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Any question so far? Well, I just thought that we should end here for today. So, I don't know. What do you say? Give me your comment. Should we continue? Okay, so for me, since I've given you all this data, I think you should now go and practice. You should exercise, because all these formulas, they should be on your fingertips. And the only way to make them on your fingertips is practice. Just go and practice and practice and practice. Practice all scenarios that you think of. Then is when you can come up with very, very interesting questions and observations, so that when we meet again, we will still chew bigger chunks. So for now, from when we started up to now, and since I've given you data to play with, please go and practice. Go and practice. The only way is practice, practice, practice. It has to be on your fingertips. Otherwise, for today, I thank you. Bye.